Welcome back to the Paralegal Business Podcast. Jacqueline Foster here for what are we? 79. Episode 79. Today, I want to unpack what is blocking you from starting your own business. The paralegals that come into my space and learn from me and build success, finding six figures, finding freedom, going independent full time. I thought about what they're actually juggling with in their minds on a day-to-day basis. Led me to these four reasons why paralegals don't start businesses, even though they want to. And spoiler alert, it's these four reasons that I battle with my audience on a daily basis in my content, in my emails, in my chatting, DMs, messages, back and forth with paralegals. It's these problems that I am combating as a business coach, as an advisor, every single day in my community, which is why it led me to realize I need to give paralegals access to a very affordable entry point to exploring business ownership. And I priced my membership at $10 per month. And I got some feedback from that of people saying, has to be too good to be true. This has to be a clickbait scam. Like, I'm probably going to get in there and there's just going to be nothing, like a dead tumbleweed community, like $10 wasted. I hope that this is what can get more paralegals into business ownership so we can continue to transform this industry to rise paralegals to the level that they deserve, have long deserved to be risen to, and see some more freedom, career ownership out there in the paralegal industry. So let's just dive in. Number one, paralegals aren't starting businesses at the rate that they should be because it hasn't been accepted enough yet as this new norm. However, that is where it's headed, and I do not want paralegals to get left behind when it does head there. Let me use an example. An attorney working as an associate for 3, maybe 5 years decides one day, you know what, I think I want to start my own practice. Nobody bats a freaking eye. Oh yeah, of course. They get a, you're so ambitious, great job. Like, yes, look at all these successful solos out there that are talking about starting their own law firms. And there's tons of law firms. It's a norm. It's the norm for attorneys to choose that they know to make really great money as an attorney. You either need to get into big corporate, big law, climb the ladder as a partner in a big Fortune 500 firm, or start your own business and scale it. But that's been a norm forever, for decades. Okay. Back in 2020, paralegals were sent home in a panic. COVID was taking over our lives. Attorneys were having to shut their doors. They were struggling. They couldn't appear at court. Court proceedings are getting pushed off. No in-person meetings were able to happen. Everybody's scrambling. How do we do remote notarization? How do we keep the lights on? So a lot of paralegals were furloughed. I dealt with a lot of these attorneys during this rush of panic, as that's around when I started my own business. I'd been subcontracting for a while, but then I hung my own shingle, honestly, not intentionally for the pandemic. I could never had my virgin business brain did not anticipate that would be the shift. It just was a happenstance. And I dealt with all these attorneys. They're coming to me in a panic. I need help, but I can't keep my employee on full time. And they're getting poached by another firm who is set up to work remotely, that is ready to get going. They're pandemic proof, if you will. And so with that, paralegals were getting laid off. So the attorneys that were laying off the paralegals were also inadvertently hiring them back, but as contractors. Maybe not them exactly, but it was like throw the paralegals out the door and now hire another one on a contract basis. So these paralegals are rushing out there trying to find contract work, remote work, anything to get them by through these times. And at the time, everyone's like, okay, well, this is just for now. It'll go back. Everybody will go back into office. Attorneys will go back to their old archaic ways of everybody has to be butts in a seat to be productive. I have to have the hybrid legal assistant answering phones, also drafting complex pleadings. Like, this is just going to be forever. Well, guess what? It didn't go back to that fully. Yes, some attorneys went back to rushing people in the firm, only having employees, but a lot of attorneys ended up finding this path of, hey, even though COVID's, done. We're all back in the office. Everything's back to a new normal. We can still leverage this as a business tool to help us through growth phases or to help us with talent shortages in our area or help us with getting through maternity leaves. I don't have the resources to hire a senior paralegal, or I just need a little extra support and admin because my senior paralegal is drowning, right? So that was the shift that really needed to take place and it happened. And now attorneys have learned that where they're continuing to evolve with that concept in mind of more fractional, more legal process outsourcing solutions where I can have a senior paralegal on hand for 20, 30 hours per month as a contractor. Well, can I also hire an e-filing company to completely eliminate that from my firm's load? And I'm the CFO, the CMO, the chief of everything officer of my law firm. Now they're hiring fractional CFOs, fractional chief marketing officers, fractional chief operating officers. They're finding a way to be able to piecemeal these individual and very critical professionals that are a huge component to scaling. So attorneys unlocked a door and the door is open. It's not going to be shut. People aren't going to forget. And in fact, it's getting more and more heightened as attorneys are getting smarter and smarter about business practice, learning that they have more resources out there than they realized and that it's a safe approach. It's practical. It doesn't make you be like, oh, I'm not a real business owner unless I have 14 employees in my office twiddling their thumbs half the day and doing all these different things. So back up, paralegals have not started businesses because it hasn't yet been accepted enough as a new norm, but it has made leaps and bounds since 2020. I've been with it the whole ride. I scaled my company through it. It's made leaps and bounds, and I am worried that paralegals out there are going to be shell-shocked when good paying employee jobs, yes, they're out there, but they're harder to come by because attorneys aren't quick to hire full time anymore. If they don't have a true need, like this is my new bottom line, it's stable and we're going up from here. Now I can stabilize here and bring in an employee. They're getting smarter and smarter about I don't need to hire until this new revenue level is established. And that's not to fearmonger and say like, hey, if you don't start your business, you're screwed in 5 years. I'm not saying that. But again, and I'm not going down this rabbit hole because it's just not part of the conversation, but like AI, the conversation of AI and, oh, is that coming after paralegal jobs? We all know AI will not be able to replace most of the human element that comes with running a case. People are unpredictable, cases are unpredictable. We need human knowledge, strategy, all the things. And we've seen what's happened when firms try to leverage AI too much in their law firms. They get sanctioned and embarrassed publicly by federal judges. But all to say, like AI is adjusting the industry. The busy work can be replaced by AI, and now attorneys are able to hire in a more fractional capacity for the true human intelligence support that they need. So number one, top reason paralegals haven't been accepted enough yet as a new norm, but that is where it's heading, and I don't want you to be left behind. So I started the Paralegals and Business Society for $10 a month so you can get ready to make your transition. Of course, there's other benefits like great income, time freedom, and just the awesomeness that is being your own boss. Okay, number two of why more paralegals aren't starting businesses. Because there are too many piecemeal opinions out there from a variety of sources. Facebook groups, ChatGPT. I just made a post today that I had 3 paralegals within like a month of each other message me and say, I asked ChatGPT what I should charge. I told them my practice area and said, this is what I'd be offering, kind of like what are paralegals out there charging. One of them was told 100 to 160, one was told $50 an hour, and one was told $17 to $25 per hour. So we're getting mixed opinions from Chat, GPT, Google searches. Then there's the Facebook group where you have people fighting over how many years of experience that you need to start a business. Okay. So you need at least 7 years of experience. No, you need 10. Screw you. I started when I had 3. What's the answer? Here's the reality of it all. there's no magic number of experience that you need to charge a certain dollar amount or to be qualified enough to start a business. It all has to do with your skill sets, your experience in those skill sets, and how you're packaging them up to a very specific person out there, a very specific law firm attorney need, and solving that problem for them and being like the peanut butter to your chocolate. So let me unpack that a little bit because we're talking about the years of experience first. You could have 1 year of very solid legal admin experience. You are the calendar, the filing support, e-filing, internal organization, client onboarding. You do the intake, you get them into the system, into the matters, client updates, sending weekly emails, monthly emails. That's your experience. You can start a business on that. I know it doesn't sound like this fancy, bougie 10 years of heavy civil litigation experience, trial paralegal worth charging $100 an hour, $80 an hour, but you are essentially a virtual assistant at that point with a legal background. So when you look at the virtual assistant market out there, like those admin supports in any type of business, whether it's a nonprofit or a dental office, those things that you would hire a virtual assistant, the person, the human that needs to be supporting them, those are people are charging anywhere from 50 to 70 an hour, depending on like, are they more branded into the executive assistant specialty? Where are they coming in? Travel, personal assistant. They're commanding high rates. So if your main objective is I want to have freedom to pick up my kids at 3 o'clock, not miss a t-ball game, not have to ever put in a request for PTO to have it rejected ever again, or stress out when I get sick because I don't want to get fired for not showing up to work. And you're like, I just want to start a business. You can start a business if that's your skill set and that is something you're okay with doing for life, essentially, or you scale your business into an agency or whatever, and you eventually merge into more of like a business operator. Okay. And I'm trying really hard not to go down rabbit holes, which I'm very good at doing. So all to say, who is to say you need 5, 10, 15, 30, 7, 6, like everybody has this magic number, but it depends. So I constantly am battling that out there, right? Of paralegals being like, I don't have enough experience, but wait, maybe I do, but no, I don't, because I saw that person post something and then I asked somebody and then I got attacked by all these keyboard warriors that are saying, no, you can't. That is why I started a membership for $10 a month so that paralegals could come in, go through my 21-day challenge and learn on their own unique journey with workbooks and guidance and how to work through these exercises, identify what you're really, really good at. And I promise you, you can make a business off of it. And then on the money thing, charge 30, charge 50, charge 150. It depends. It depends on your market. It does depend on the level of work you are performing, whether that's complex, heavy trial litigation. Yes, you'll command more with your 10 years of experience and being able to draft incredible legal arguments from scratch versus a legal assistant. But even down there, you can still charge. And I'm not just saying this to like blow steam up your ass. Like, I'm really not. That is what VA services charge out there. And if you don't believe me, go do independent research for yourself. See what Belay is charging. See what Boldly is charging. See what these people are, agencies, these big box agencies that have scaled to multi-7 and 8 figures are charging out there for assistant support. Okay, so that's the other reason I decided that it was appropriate for me to make a membership for $10 a month, because I know paralegals are struggling with the idea of if they're even qualified, which leads me to the third one, purely imposter syndrome. Purely imposter syndrome is what holds paralegals back. I dealt with this in debilitating ways. Curl up in a ball, hyperventilate, feel like everybody out there is laughing at me. Who am I? I thought of old coworkers, old bosses, family and friends even. Not that I have crappy family and friends, but people like to gossip and talk, acquaintances that are seeing me start this business and they're like, she's just trying to get online famous. She's trying to be one of those online business owners. That really got to me. And I don't want to rehash the imposter syndrome on the skill set because I just covered that in number 2 about how many years of experience. It's more about your strengths, right? But imposter syndrome on who are you to start a business and be successful? Who are you to hang your own shingle? Who are you to have any confidence in yourself that you could be great at what you're offering without micromanagement? Who are you to put any opinion out into the World Wide Web on how firms can better delegate and how firms can better work with their team and staff their support and work with their clients and improve X process and this process? It's purely imposter syndrome. And I'm a little bit out of touch with working as a paralegal in a law firm. I can tell you I had a pretty bad experience like early on in my career. Talked a little bit about that in a previous podcast episode where I talked about being made fun of through an email that I accidentally saw that was like, Jacqueline's such an idiot, all these things. But so I am a little bit far away from that, but I still remember it. And I work with paralegals inside this system every single day. I've staffed them with firms across the nation. We have been pushed down. We started as a secretary. Born secretaries never fully were able to break free from that public view. Oh, you're a paralegal. And then like 3 seconds later, oh yeah, she's a secretary at a law firm. Like they're used interchangeably. Yeah. And the ABA gave us that distinction, but it was just on paper. And I remember when that came out and it's taking time for this industry to evolve from that reality that we're still fighting an uphill battle for professional respect, for understanding we are true partners in a law firm. We drive revenue. Anybody drives revenue, they should be looked at as more as partners, revenue partners, income producing individuals in a firm than just support staff, right? And I started this business because at the core of my mission is to change the paralegal industry and rid that secretary hybrid crap for good and get paralegals elevated into their highest and greatest value that they can provide firms and be paid accordingly. And like the only way to do that on a mass scale is by pricing a membership at $10 per hour. So here I am, right? Okay, number 4, the final reason that more paralegals aren't starting businesses. And I'm going to tiptoe around this just a little bit because I don't want to offend anybody or their need for security and finances or sound out of touch with reality. But it's the concept of golden handcuffs. I've been a victim of golden handcuffs. A lot of my paralegal students were victims of golden handcuffs. So let me unpack that with an example. Brandy Barnes, I just interviewed her. She'd be the episode below this one. She, paralegal, working in firm, 9 to 5. Her son had asked her, her 7-year-old, can you please, mom, come chaperone? Please come chaperone this field trip. Everybody else's parents are coming. I really want you there. It breaks my heart to think of their little hearts that are so big, having a 7-year-old myself right now. And she asked her firm, but they're like, sorry, you're out of PTO. So she missed it. And that kind of sparked an idea in her mind of, I'm sick of this. I want to be there for my family. I want to be there for my kids. I don't want to always have to choose a 9 to 5 over being a good mom when it really, really counts. Obviously, of course, we all have to make sacrifices and balance, and weekdays get chaotic and we miss some things. But when it really counts, when it's really important to our kids and we can't be there, she's like started to look into business ideas and YouTubing stuff. Couldn't really find much on the internet. She tabled that idea. She started to talk herself out of it. I have a pension. I have a cushy job. It does pay me every 2 weeks. About 4 or 5 months later, she was fired. She finally then was like, I'm going to start a business. She did find my free course. She took the free course at the time that I had available. And then she joined the freelance paralegal roadmap that I no longer have. I'm sundowning that program for now. But she took that course, and in her first year in business, she outperformed any salary she had ever had in a 9 to 5. And so that's what I mean about golden handcuffs. This concept of security that chains you to this desk because, oh, at least I get this stability. It's safe, it's secure. Brandy is not just the only paralegal that I've ever worked with that had a similar story. I've had so many paralegals, like, I feel like I'm going to lose my job. I should start this business. And let me tell you, let me debunk this myth that being an employee is more stable than being a business owner. When you're a business owner and you get that momentum and you get those first clients, which is easier than you might think, I mean, I have so many resources in the Paralegals and Business Society that helps you get those clients. Once you get that momentum going, if you lose a client and you continue to market your business and you never really turn that faucet off fully, chances are you're getting another client coming through the door. Or if things start to go downhill, you have a runway. You have a signal, a red flag that's like, hey, you might want to turn on a new marketing stream or try to get a few more in the door because this is feeling a little bit unstable. You have that runway and you have full control to get ahead of it and restabilize. And I don't mean to paint this picture that business is constantly up, down, up, down, up, down to extremes. In fact, most paralegals, especially those that are solo and just running their own practice with their own attorneys, they maybe hire one subcontractor to help them with a little bit of paperwork. Those paralegals tend to have immaculate retention because they really integrate into the firm as a member of that attorney's practice, right? A lot of attorneys will put you on their website as like a paralegal consultant or what have you. And so you really get to build as the person 100% in control of your business reputation and your work product and your quality of service. You really get to kind of lock those clients in for life that they'll keep you on even during a slow period just because you are that important in their business. And it's a different relationship. It's not employee to employer. It's business owner to business owner. It's a more adult relationship, right? It's a mutual respect relationship versus a subordinate relationship, right? I understand. I'm always combating golden handcuffs. And that is, again, why I started the Paralegals and Business Society for only $10 a month. I did just record when I posted on the website a video. You get a little bit behind the scenes, a sneak peek of what it looks like to be a member inside there. I really wanted to make this more accessible than ever, but I wanted to make this episode in a way to explain why I chose that price point. It's because I realize I'm not just trying to convince paralegals that I can transform their lives. I have testimonials, I have case studies, but it's because I know I'm combating so many layers of what's holding paralegals back in the first place that I needed to give them oh, of course I'm going to start a, like, why wouldn't I try it? You know, I've got nothing to lose. It's $10. It's another $10 if I'm liking it. It's another $10 every single month, you know, if I'm continuing to feel motivated and inspired and starting to see results and feel like I can do this thing, I know I'm in the right place. It's not throwing $500, $1,000, $3,000 up front. I've gotten the has to be too good to be true and wow. And I'm like, I didn't expect that to backfire on me. Like, are you kidding me? Have I not proven my heart, my passion, my results for my paralegals, my own successes enough that, yeah, I'm really going to go try scamming the paralegal industry with a $10 product? That is certainly what I'm here to do. No. Come join us, you know, inside the Paralegals and Business Society. Start your 21-day transformation. Start feeling it out. It's self-paced. You don't lose it after 21 days. You can go back to it. My live power hours. Being in the society, I can confidently say you will have every question you could possibly have answered for you. You don't have to go to ChatGPT. You don't have to go to Facebook and get like gate kept and cut down a little bit for beginner questions. You're safe there. It is such a great space. And then the ongoing mini trainings. Those mini trainings are intended to help you bring it to life, whether that's quietly without a ton of people noticing or very loud and out there because you're ready to go in all in right now. You're ready to scale it to a six-figure earning this year, whatever, wherever you're at in your journey. I promise you it will be supported because I put intention to design it as such. Come join us. And until next episode, have great days ahead of you.